Welcome back to Marathon. I'm Admin 1 of Any Effects, and this is Level 5 Couch Fishing, which as you can see, is already off to 10 start. Oh my, here we go. First ever encounter of the 4 Trooper. I don't know if you saw that, but it's an assault rifle enemy that's covered in a terminal message from the previous level. I suppose I could have started that a bit cleaner without losing shields, but no matter. That was a bit of a shorter interval there between shots for that creature. But anyway, let's start with the terminal message, shall we? Leela says, I have some bad news. Durandal has gone rampant, and he is in the angry stage. This explains how Durandal is able to communicate with the Four and the Sphid while I have not. Theoretically, the Marathon computer net is not big enough to sustain rampant growth for very long. This means that as Durandal grows into the computer net, he will begin to affect all aspects of the ship, resulting in unpredictable failures of otherwise benign computer systems. I'd like to think that that's the reason for what was happening with those weird crushing platforms at the end of the last level. I have teleported you here to make sure that Durandal cannot gain access to a vital section of the ship. There are a series of control switches that you will need to activate to block his access. This is where you are now. Study the map so that you can do this quickly. Well, I won't need to study it. I already know it. Here's the first of 3 switches that you'll need to activate. Here's the second switch. This is the last switch. Be warned that the aliens have already entered this area. No shit. I seem to recall there being troopers guarding this part in different versions of the game. Maybe not the very original. Maybe that's something specific to M1A1. I'm not sure though. This is a particularly interesting and harrowing terminal message. Let's have a little marathon history lesson, shall we? The Christ Sol Orbiters. The Christ Sol Orbiters, or cargo and resources in-system transports, were huge ships shaped like a hollow potato and designed to be able to move huge amounts of material between Earth and Mars with low cost and theoretically low maintenance. The system was simple. The Christ was put into orbit around Sol on the plane of the ecliptic. Built with a powerful solar sail, the Christ could change its orbit easily to pass by the Earth or Mars. On a flyby, materials could be loaded or offloaded. The energy used to accelerate or decelerate the materials would be supplied by the solar sail. Loading was accomplished with a giant tether and reel system, which would swing the material into orbit behind the Christ and then reel it in slowly. Offloading was accomplished with a powerful ion beam, which would pound the offloading material with a steady stream of ion particles. The design of the Christ was innovative and useful, but it was not low maintenance. Of the 5 Christs that were built, 4 lasted around 100 years, and of the other one only 73 before they needed to be brought back to Earth and refitted. Each refitting took about 15 years, and completely occupied the Earth Space Shipbuilding Facility for that time. The result was that no more than 5 Christs should be kept in service at any time. No Christ was ever built after 2310. The Christ failures devastated Mars. As the first 5 Christs were built, Mars colony grew quickly, confident that the growth would continue. But when the source of Mars resources failed, the colony found that it had overgrown its supportable size, and extreme poverty struck most of the population. Each time that a crystal broke down, the result was famine on Mars. The conversion of Deimos into the Marathon began when the Mars colony was at the height of its power. By the time it was completed 64 years later, the decline of Mars was well advanced. During that time, the Marathon population had seen its standard of living drop by 80%. On top of oppressive poverty, Martians saw one of their moons being converted into a colony ship in an expensive and risky colony venture, which was predominantly funded by a ruling foreign power. The argument to make the Marathon into a Christ became more and more popular, but the UESC never seriously considered this an option. The farther that Mars sank into the depths of poverty, the more that the Marathon became a symbol for the oppression of the Martian people. The declining Martian world. After the Marathon left Mars, the UESC's attentions focused primarily on technological development and the upkeep of the Chris. Mars was left to decay. Population continued to increase as attempts at mandating abortion or sterilization always started revolt. Once again, quite heavy. Aye. I think that's all. Yes. Alright, we're getting to some serious business here. Pretty soon. Aye. Why is he just standing there? Come out. We're about to embark on a track of carnage. Starting now. This is just the start of it. I wonder if, had I fired a shot through that little window, I could have alerted these enemies here. Maybe they would have started fighting each other if I lured them into it enough from beyond that window. Things will get particularly hectic after the next threshold. We will definitely want to maneuver well. Let's take out the initial chunk first before rushing right in. Otherwise we'll have so many different projectiles to have to dodge. I know some may see this as a candy-ass way of going about things, but I never claimed exactly not to be a candy-ass. Besides, look, now we can already escape. That thing wasn't closed forever. We'll be encountering yet another new enemy for the first time in the next level. Some have already fallen down into the pit, and they're fighting each other. Great. Let's see if there are any ammo deposits around here, tucked away in the corners. Leela says, Durandal has been denied access to some of the critical computer systems. This should ensure the mobility and reliability of the defense drones. Unfortunately, I have received a distress signal from some crew who had sealed themselves off in one of the nearby access areas. They say that they have lost control over the doors and elevators on the level, and that the four have access to the area. It appears that Durandal has reacted to our move against him by giving the four access to a formerly secure area. We will have to deal with Durandal sooner or later, but we can't be distracted from the four attack. I only hope that his rampant behavior won't continually sabotage our defense efforts. I am sending you to go and save these crew. Clear the area of aliens. If enough of the crew survive, then perhaps we can get an intelligence report from them. By the way, the sort of funny part about that is that you proceed to the next level, and really the rest of the game the same as you would if you failed the mission. You don't die or lose the game or anything for not saving enough civilians. I'll try to do so, but honestly, at Total Carnage, it's kind of impossible to do that as far as I've seen. If anyone has contrary video evidence of succeeding at the following mission of saving enough crew members on Total Carnage, please let me know. And forward me to that video. Let's go.